Greetings, salutations, and happy Pride Month, denizens of YouTube. My name is Edgy John, and today we'll be doing a video on the Bard of Life. I don't really know what I'm doing with this voice, so have fun with that, I guess. The Bard is one of the destruction classes of Homestuck, the passive counterpart to the Prince, and the inverse of the Maid. Bards allow destruction of and invite destruction through their aspect. Bards also ghost their opposite aspect until they encounter the Bard's Crisis, an event in their development that pushes them into their own. When this happens, the Bard must not succumb to the whims of their aspect, like how Gamzee was consumed by rage, but then invited destruction through rage, a bit more secretly. Gamzee allowed destruction of rage by use of Super Slime, also by letting Cardcap tap him into calming down, while inviting destruction through rage by channeling his anger into a major power boost and distorting the desires of Terezi, making her think that killing Vriska was the only way. Cronus allowed destruction of hope by allowing what could have been a very close friend or even agent of this evil magician talked about in his lore to dissuade him out of his beliefs in magic, according to Arania. Bards are labeled as wildcards, being the reason for their session's improbable victory, spectacular failure, or both. All the best stories have one in them. In accordance with them being wildcards, Bards could possibly imitate other aspects to achieve their goals, like how Gamzee used Equise's blood to smudge certain bits of information, while using Aradia's time music boxes to travel through time. Or maybe that's just a Gamzee thing, who knows? Maybe we'll get a new Bard in Beyond Canon that can show off more of what they can do in canon. I'm probably just gonna talk normal for the rest of this video, I don't know. Tell me in the comments if you like the voice I was doing or not. Life is the inverse of doom and has to do with life itself, energy, vitality, breaking rules, unrestriction, increasing, and luxury. Life players break the rules of life, like Thefree and her creating the dream bubbles and extending the life of the mayor, Mina and her stealing life to extend hers, or Jane and her reviving someone, and merging multiple life forms into a single bigger life form, I guess. Life players also seem to have at least some kind of luxurious life. If you're a life player, maybe you're traditionally rich, or maybe you're a single child and your parents spoil you. The Lifebound are the natural healers of the universe, whether it be physical, mental, spiritual, or in the words of Marvin Gaye himself even, sexual healing. They have a natural understanding of others' suffering, and how to fix it due to their natural empathy, though it might be best to tend to the Lifebound around you when you can. They can become bitter if they feel like their self-care is being shunted for the sake of others. At their best, the Lifebound are great listeners, nurturers, and caretakers. At their worst, though, they are passive-aggressive and pushy. They believe to know what is best. Hooray for our third Lifebound video, and our first Bard video in more than a hot minute. 2 birds, 1 stone. Now, for the Bard of Life themselves. Personality-wise, they would allow destruction of life by being very lazy and living a relatively unhealthy lifestyle, next to no exercise, rich in fatty foods like a patrician's diet in Roman society. They would have artificial bursts of lifelike energy by chugging all kinds of energy drinks, that kind of stuff. If the whole ghosting their aspect thing isn't outdated, they likely ghost doom by being nihilistic and defeatist, but that really especially annoying kind that lives an overall good, if not great, life, but for some reason is just negative all of the time and actively chooses to restrict themselves. Maybe they'd even be like Sho from the Persona 4 Arena series, becoming more and more puerile, caustic, and bored with life in general as they possibly fall deeper into their personal crisis, ultimately ending up with the desire to actually destroy life. However, just like Sho, the power of friendship and a good pop to the jaw should hopefully snap them out of it, as anticlimactic as it sounds. As for powers and abilities, speaking of caustic and for inviting destruction through life, the Bard of Life could likely use one's life energy and cellular structure against them, causing their organic tissue to bubble and burn away as if splashed by some kind of chemical attack. Or they could wield the bacteria in one's stomach for a far less lethal approach and give someone a tummy ache, the ultimate hot girl weakness. Maybe even hyper-accelerated growth of deadly plant life could be in their arsenal, if this bard had any botanist knowledge. Finally, for allowing destruction of life, the Bard of Life would likely have an anti-life aura around them, causing effects as small as low energy and sluggish behavior, giving them a massive edge in battles of attrition, to something as devastating as passively weakening the effects of healing, or just wiping out the life energy of smaller, weaker entities around them. And I believe that's all I have to say on the matter. If you've enjoyed this video, then please like and share it. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and leave suggestions for future videos in the comments below or on my Blue Sky. Also, if you made it this far, I'd like to give a sort of shout out to the person that suggested a redux for the Prince of Void. I'd like to say that I found your input about your views of princes fascinating and wish to use it in future prince videos upon reading over them again. But I can't seem to remember the video you commented on to find said comments. So, if you know who you are and are seeing this video, could you maybe repeat that input in the comments below or in my DMs on Blue Sky or Twitter? Thank you in advance, and as for everyone else, my next video will be on the Maid of Hope. So, with all of that, I bid you dudes, dudettes, and others adieu. Bye!